Jim Petitpren here again. This is the third in a series of sharing what I've learned from over 20 years of managing remote workers in 2 foreign countries and here in the United States. My goal is to help you be the best remote manager that you can possibly be. In the first 2 videos, we talked about 4 key points. The first was attitude and how attitude equals altitude. We discussed the importance of your attitude, projecting that to the rest of the team, and how to keep that charged up. The second item was the new interface, or in other words, managing with technology and video meetings. We also talked about the importance of having the right methodologies to go along with that. We also gave some tips and some real life examples about how to implement them and how we did them ourselves. The last 2 were about structure and motivation, both of those components, and we helped to tell you how to keep your people juiced up in this new workspace. I invite you to look back at our YouTube channel to review the details. Now let's get started with the final 2 tips: remote accountability and my favorite, the art of connectedness. Let's face it, accountability is a lot easier when you're frequently bumping into your team in the physical workspace. Remote workspaces, however, create some unique challenges along with some major opportunities. Let's face it, allowing flexible hours and locations can be a great attitude and morale booster. It'll result in more productivity because you've got happier dispositions and attitudes, as long as the accountability component is set up properly. So how do you do that? First, set up mandatory meeting times. No excuses for missing. This also will serve that much needed rhythm to keep things, people feeling connected. And it's going to prevent them from distractions. In addition, what gets measured gets done. Make sure to have regularly scheduled reviews, quarterly, 360, whatever you normally would use, and monitor the metrics religiously. Second would be to tie in your SMART objectives into a remote management PM system. Another great tool that can be used for accountability. There are some good interdependency tools out there to take advantage of. The ones that come to mind are Jira and Basecamp. They're just a couple, right? There's more. Let your team members know about your expectations in that PM program and refer to it along with your team constantly. The third item, make sure you have well-connected systems and processes for what needs to happen. For example, here at our company, when we get a new job to fill, we have a 6-step process that we follow, and it's written and it's tracked on each and every role that we work on. In addition to that, we also have a weekly tracking system for client reporting. They get these reports every week so they can have some timely results and the feedback that they need and deserve. All you need to do is document a little bit of what you were doing back at the real workspace. All that bumping around into each other that you were doing all the time. Just get it documented. Above all, though, keep the rhythm going. That's the main thing here. Now for the most important part of all 6 points. The one that is my really personal favorite. It's the art of connectedness. Let's talk about that. None of the previous 5 items will be sustainable if connectedness is not constant. I like to call it the art of connectedness because, and it's my personal favorite, it's more art than science. Like I mentioned earlier, there won't be any bumping into each other at the water cooler or in the hallway or the lunchroom or any of those kinds of things that you build great rapport with people. And ideas get stimulated and exchanged all the time, and when they're doing that, it's kind of an integral part of the workplace as far as feeling connected. So how do you make sure that people truly feel connected now? You may recall from my first video about out of sight, out of mind, and then having to fire someone. Staying connected will prevent that. So here are 4 things that you can do to make sure that your team is even more connected than when you were at the real office, the physical workspace. Here we go, 4 things. First of all, have chat rooms set up for different groups because they can no longer take a quick walk across the office and get that interface at the water cooler. So make sure everyone keeps their chat app up all day long so that they can stay connected. A word to the wise here though, also make sure that they know that they should bow out of the chat room if they need intense focusing on something that requires heavy concentration. Also, make sure to monitor that the chat is getting used, or that critical part of the connectedness is going to erode into a lack of connectedness, which can start a downward spiral. Second, video team connections. Those regularly scheduled video meetings must be required. Remember, out of sight, out of mind. There are many methods to do that, I've mentioned before having a quick stand-up at the start of the day, or you can even add a wrap-up at the end of the day also. A long video meeting should happen at least once a week. Monday and Friday come to mind, but choose what's best for you. Also have those special meetings as needed. Third, video one-on-ones. Encourage the team to have frequent calls throughout the day. Quick questions are much better with a face attached to it. And make sure to tell them and encourage them to use this, even if it's only for 20 seconds or 10 seconds. Fourth, face-to-face. Make sure that third dimension in person happens. While two-dimension videos may seem great, humans crave face-to-face interaction to feel connected. So make sure that things like lunches, on-site quarterly team reviews, or whatever else makes sense happens, right? At least once a year or even more often. It could be a celebration meeting. You could fly people in for something that was accomplished, whatever makes sense. Now don't miss this. Here in the order of importance is how to apply these 4 methods. Number 1 is video for sure. Number 2, audio. Texting is 3rd. Chat and email will be 4th and 5th. The main thing you need to remember as far as the order of things, video, video, video as much as possible. It's the most effective tool in your belt. Now I know this may all sound really simple. However, I can tell you from personal experience as a remote worker and a remote manager that the discipline that you impart to your remote workers will make or break your team's success. High performance teams have great rapport, and staying truly connected will guarantee that. I hope these tips help you to manage your team with much more success and less effort. In closing, I welcome calls to answer any special challenges that you may have. I really enjoy those conversations. Another thing that you can do for your success and your team's success is to like, share, and subscribe to the PRA USA channel. The links are over here at the corner. We're going to be sharing advice, answering tough questions, and responding to the big events of the day to help both job seekers and employers in this always changing market. Use PRA USA's 30 years of experience to get you the edge and your team the edge that you need to be successful. Thanks for listening.